Okay, it's live now. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there that's online that that needs this, and a lot of them are here today. How many people here today came? You started off online and you're here today. Raise your hand. You started off online and you're here today. Right, right. Very instrumental. So the Lord said, you better start that online. All right. So we're going to open up in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Okay. So Matthew 24 and 32, I'll read it and give it to you. It says, now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender, and put it forth leaves. So, what the Messiah is referring to is the beginning state of a plant, but it's a fig tree, it's in the baby stage. When I read this, I understood exactly what he was talking about concerning the branch is tender and put it forth leaves. When you have a plant and it's a young, gets a little, like most of you, if you've been to my house and you've been in the yard with me, I'll show you the different things that I'm growing. Like, remember the video of the different plants that I showed you guys? I did a small video. I said, this is pepper, this is cucumber, this is this is that. So it's just a small plant and it's real fragile, but it's bringing forth leaves. That lets you know that it's going to grow. So during the time of the Messiah is using as an analogy the situation that's happening, that's going to happen, as the analogy of a plant that's tender but growing. So, in other words, you hearing these things, like the mark of the beast being the plant, and the leaves would be the videos, the recordings, the hearsay, It's young, like the plant. But the next part says, know ye know that summer is near. So what happens when summer comes to a plant? That's right. It comes forth. Not winter, but summer. It's going to grow and it's going to bring forth fruit. Verse 33, read that.
So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things.
Stop. Are you going to be looking for a fig tree with some tender leaves and branch? No, that's not what you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for clear and present dangers. When you're going to be seeing and hearing the threats. When you're going to see the leaves coming from the branch. You're going to be seeing the videos, the recordings, the sayings. You are not to ignore that. Go ahead.
Know that it is near.
Know that it is near. It's growing, is what the Lord is trying to tell us. So you cannot just sit back like bumps on your bumps. Sit back, going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, going to school, taking the children to basketball practice, which they shouldn't be going, all manner of stuff. And you're just going to ignore this. The Lord said it's near. He's not talking about the fig tree no more. He's talking about, in his time frame, he's talking about what is going to happen to them in his time, in their time frame. He's not talking to you about yours. You just got to apply this to yours. So I'm not going to tell you, oh, see, it says right here, he's talking about what's going to happen in 2022. He's not. He's forewarning them. The thing is, situations from experience, they happen again and again and again. So the plant, then the system, the leaves bringing forth that are tender, young. All this, you've been conditioned to accept what's going to happen. Or are you just going to let the warning signs come and go and you do absolutely nothing at all? That would not be wise. Read on, read on.
Even at the doors.
Even at the door. Yeah, even at the door. You know they're saying that the door is a few months from now. Did you get a forewarning when they locked all the city, when they locked the state down and all the municipalities and all the jobs? Did you get a forewarning that they was going to do it? It happened overnight. You got slammed, and they showed you they didn't care about anything. They shut every school down. They shut every business down. They shut everything down. There was no interstate or out-of-state travel. And then went right back into the old days and said that you had to have a pass to be on the street. And if you got caught without a pass, you were being arrested. You was getting arrested. Now tell me if that's not plantation slavery, to where when you had to, when you was out there, you had to show a piece of paper. I'm coming from Master Charles Reynolds' place, and I'm going right down there yonder to get something for the boss. Let me see them papers, boy. And they go right there. It says his name right there. All right, well, you get on back. You get on. They said that. Who in here had that? Who in here they gave you a pass? Raise your hand. Look at the hands go up. See? He just gave a pass. Where was you at?
I said, when was locked down?
When was who? Yeah. Told you couldn't be on the street after curfew. They gave you one?
So and I was gonna say so. I know when I was in Tennessee during that time, they shut it down like at 5:30. I had to be in the house. Remember, I was calling you, and it was crazy.
You have to be in the house. A grown man, about 6 foot, 230. You better get in this house. You had to come in the house. He like, yo, I gotta go home. Oh my goodness. People are controlling. All right. So, verse 34.
Verily I say unto you,
Check this out. Go ahead.
This generation,
the generation he's talking to. Go ahead.
shall not pass,
Shall not die. Go ahead.
till all things be fulfilled.
Until all of this happen. So Christ is saying that there are people that's alive is going to experience this. So you know what happened? When he died, shit hit the fan in 66 AD. 65, 66 years after he died. The Lord is killing us and our youth because we're wicked. You're used to dying at 30, 40 years old, 20-something years old. There were people that, they were older. They lived, they was 90s, 100, 80. But 60, what's on record, 66 years after the man died, they came in, Titus and Vespasian, and came in and waged war against the kingdom of Judea. From 66 to 70, and they finally took it out. In 70 AD, after a 4-year war, and we lost and much bloodshed, we had to forsake the land. But the Lord was telling us that there were certain things that you will be able to see that you gonna notice that it's at the door. But he said, I'm telling you, this generation gonna see it. So how are we living? And now you're not seeing the fig tree and the tender leaves, knowing that summer is near. If you don't grow anything, then that means you don't understand nothing. But to a person that grows, summer is his friend because he gonna get fruit. And the Lord was saying, all this is gonna bring forth the fruit, but it's gonna be the fruit of a disastrous destruction, and y'all gonna see it. See, the way the scriptures is meant, it's meant for you to be taught and for you to get to understand it. Everybody that don't listen and that don't want to be taught, they're gonna ignore it, and they're gonna get killed by the edge of the sword. So now let's go through some of the leaves. Although we don't have the television to see it, you're gonna have to turn your listening ears on so that you can hear what's being said. Let me find the first one. So those of you that are on the conference, I think you're going to have to.
To attendees of this conference.
You're going to have to hang up and join in the audio because Yes, I'm going to have to play it from this conference phone. So I'm going to hang up from the conference and you join the video. So
There's a new system that's going to become online, financial one. In a time of crisis, it will be called the answer.
Okay, hold up. So this whistleblower is disguising our voices. So you're going to have to listen to what she's saying. Okay.
There's a new system that's going to become online, financial one.
Let me blow it up so I can pause it. She said there's a new system that's going to come online, a financial. Once you get used to the scratchy, crackly voice, then you'll be able to quickly decipher what she's saying. So we're clear with that point, right? About the new system coming online, a financial one. Complete silence.
There's a new system that's going to become online, financial one. In a time of crisis, it will be called the answer. We're talking about a total collapse of the economy.
Right, a total collapse of the economy. Go ahead.
Are we ready for a new world order?
What we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we're on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly,
Yes.
we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting
Oh.
and introduce a new one.
That's
And-
it.
Yeah, I heard that part, right? Okay.
The new one,
Dollar.
the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital.
Listen to
It
this.
means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens
You heard that part, right? Okay.
in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It'll
Which should give us far greater clarity about what's going on. So, no side hustles, no under the table working, no none of that. Total control over everything. Okay. So this is a government summit in 2022 that went down. I know that it's probably seemed foolish for me to hold this up for you to see it, but that's not a Hebrew that's making the speech. That's an Edomite that's making the speech. So no Hebrew is saying this. So this is not so much as like hearsay. This is the tender leaves that Christ is talking about in our time. All right.
raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money.
They're going to let everyone suffer for a while. Could be a few months, maybe in a year. People will be.
So they're going to let everybody suffer for a while. It could be a few months. It could be a few years, is what she's saying.
Scared, desperate, bread lines, gas lines, collapsing, dollar.
So she's saying people will be scared, desperate, bread lines, gas lines, collapsing dollar.
However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
Cash will go away. Currencies will go away. Trading assets gone. Crypto gone. They'll flip the switch basically overnight. That's just me. No way out. We have some.
So did y'all hear that part? Okay. She said cash should go away. I'm gonna still play it, but I'm gonna let you know what she's saying. Currencies will go away, trading away, gone, crypto gone. So all the ones that crypto dollar and Bitcoin and this, they not gonna. The only money they're gonna be is money. Okay. The switch is basically gonna happen overnight. Checkmate. See, I told you you're not gonna get no announcement, man. So I'm telling us, I'm begging us, we have to work together in unity for our future to survive. Us sitting around doing nothing, just going to work and coming home is only building their business. It's not building our business. And our business is at this time point is survival. That's not building our business. We ain't gonna be able to have no business. Our business is now trying to survive and making sure planning our future. We don't want it to happen tomorrow. We don't want it to happen next year because we're unlearned and uneducated in so much. You don't have no trial and error time period. You'll starve if you don't know how to if you don't know how to grow food. You'll starve if you don't know how to take care of animals. Animals could get sick too. You'll starve if you don't know how to get water. People get cranky. People get grumpy. People don't want to hear nothing. When agitated, when stuff like that happens, the flesh changes when you're provoked and you're challenged. Look, at Satan even came to Christ when he hungered. So you kind of see what I'm saying. We have to start a process to get out there. That's the reason why.
No way out of it.
No way out of it.
We have the software. We have access. We can see all of it, how it's done, how it works. It's a two-tiered system. One for me and you, and one for them. They will actually get richer. This much richer. We can see inside the software. We can see that they have sections for deduction.
So now it's a screen rolling and they showing you all the things that they'll be able to see. What did she say? She said transactions, history, credits, deductions, classes, privileges. So they'll be able to, in your chip, they'll be able to, your chip will have privileges or it's like endorsements on your ID. Like I have a motorcycle endorsement because I know how to ride a motorcycle. These guys got trucking endorsements because they know how to drive different trucks. That's what the privileges is. So there's two different tiers that she's saying. One tier for them and one tier for us. And their whole objective is to get completely rich. Any crumb, see, like right now we're dealing with the crumbs. We eat it, but they're gonna make sure that don't no crumb get away. They want to be all over it.
We can see in real time they are moving crypto, cash, bonds into the new digital currency.
So she said they moving it as of now. They moving it into that already, into the new digital currency. Because there's people right now with the mark already.
So the elites get to do this, but the average person get that chance. We see inflows, we see money coming in. They are getting a very favorable conversion rate of 1:3, 1:42. It varies around there. What they're going to offer as a solution is a type of guaranteed income per month, but not a lot.
So she's saying that they are going to offer some type of income monthly. Like the stimulus, right? To incorporate and get you on board. So once they wipe you out, once your money is rendered, it doesn't matter if you get teed off. They'll just send in the reserves to kill you. That could be possibly what the FEMA coffins is for. A lot of dead bodies, and for everybody that fight back and everybody that rebel, you just get dead. You get killed. 2 years ago, I shared a video. They was really having a lot of this out, and I shared this video. I can't even think of the name of it, but I was showing y'all how they was treating the people behind the fence. Do y'all remember? Let me try and think of the name of this movie. If I think of it, I'll tell you. I'm gonna keep going. You couldn't get caught. You had to have the mark. Not the mark of the beast. That was another one that I showed y'all. Yeah, you had to go to YouTube and watch that one.
What's it called? Apocalyptic War or something?
Mm-mm. No. I know it was a total of 3 movies that I showed y'all. That I had y'all to get.
I know what you're talking.
Go ahead, Jen.
He was delivering stuff. And he's the only one that could be outside.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah. I think that's the one right there. Right.
So you have to have some.
You had to live in the green zone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody else was living in another part, right?
Right.
You know, they had to have they even had to have the mark to even, go to the store to do this, to buy and sell, and when the cops would show up, they would just gun them down or knock them with beat them with the rifle, and they was real abrasive, right? So you remember that movie, right?
You talking about it was a freedom camp. And it was like a huge
The redhead.
town of area of the town. Everybody that they said wasn't good enough, they sent them to that freedom camp.
Yeah, they sent them to. I can't think of the name. They sent them to the factory. They sent them to the factory. Everybody that was tripping, because they were supposed to be waging a war with an alien, so they was building an army. Right. Okay. Well, the mark was in that. Mm-mm. No. So what this woman is just stating is that there's a small amount of money that they're gonna offer you. So once they take away, the people here didn't even drive. In that movie, nobody owned cars. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm wondering why they trying to go all electric. So, because once they go all electric, they can shut your car down. Now they can shut your gas car down too. They can even start it up, do this and the third. But once it's all electric, it's completely controllable. And she's gonna end up saying that you won't get what they give you. She's gonna say it.
There will be a social score tied to it. If you misbehave, there goes your money. Now, an AI.
She said, if you misbehave, there goes your money. Now what? That's what she just said. Their AI, meaning artificial intelligence.
When it shows people will comply. We see these different classes. Class C, Class S, Class R, Class Q. They're very limited. They're restrictive.
So 3 different classes. What did she say? Class R, Class C, Class S, Class R. And those classes now, there's classes now with credit reports. They look at your credit report and tell what they'll do for you and what they won't do for you, just by your credit report alone. Banks and the people that offer you your loans have never saw you a day in their life. They look at your class, and based upon your class, that's what you're going to get. So don't take this as, oh, is this true? They can't do.
The celebrities, the media, the government, they are all Class S or Southern. They have no restrictions, no tax requirement, unlimited asset and capital ownership, no exemption for fines like the other classes. They're exempt. Their asset limits are exempt. Their vaccination status is exempt. They don't have to have a perfect credit score.
In 2018, further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Doom Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending, not based on your available funds, but on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption.
It is so much like the pandemic. Stir up the fear, put people in tough position, then offer the solution. This is a risk seeing something different here. Very disturbing. With the vaccines, they sort of gave you a choice. With this, we're not seeing a choice at all. You can't opt out of this new banking and currency system at all. It also requires vaccination too. If you don't like how there are special classes you're not in, what are you going to do? If you protest so much as make a peep online, then boom, they take 50, 100 out of your limited bank account.
So how are you gonna protest online? By doing what we're doing, saying something about it. They find you and they take some of your money that you got. That's what she's saying.
Instantly. It will all be tracked, monitored, no escape.
When it goes national, social credit scores will be assigned to every one of China's citizens for life.
Now they're showing you what's presently happening in China. So, you know, people typically try and see what works. You know, America steals its philosophies and customs and traditions from other people. Okay.
And what's weird is that so many people seem okay with it. It's complicated, but China went from extreme poverty to economic giant pretty quickly. The credit history system didn't grow at the same pace, so people would default on loans and get away with it. Added scandals around fake food, tainted baby milk, counterfeit goods, and what you've got is a big problem with trust. So, in 2014, the Communist Party called for a system to allow the trustworthy to roam everywhere under heaven, while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step.
It will be Class C, common, or Class R, restricted, or worst of all, Class Q, quarantined.
So if you notice, it was implemented in China because of the crime. So I've always wondered why the states is letting a lot of things. So the states used to really be policed and really be patrolled. They used to really be up our backs about, like, on the nets behind, about everything. You couldn't even spit on the sidewalk when I was young. You got a ticket. You couldn't walk across the street. It's called jaywalking. You couldn't walk across the street in the middle of a block. You had to go down to the end of the block and then cross the street. Not in the neighborhood, but in a big intersection like West Florissant. They would stop you, they would find you. There's a lot of things that's changed. And so even mostly recently, over the last 5 years, everything has changed to where policing is not the same. Okay, nobody wants the police harassing them, but look how much out of hand everything has gotten. Drug dealing, bow shooting, car thefts. It's to the point to where the kids just say, well, we'll make videos. Wow, we could do whatever we want to. There's nobody here to stop us. Well, in the time period that I came up in when I was your age, if you did something, the police was knocking it, they was at your door kicking it in the very day. You know, it's completely, well, why are they letting it go like that? So the thing is, they're setting you up to have a reason to say you're unruly. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. That's what has happened in China. That's why they mentioned the schemes and the scams, this, that, and the third. So they said, okay, we're gonna take everything away from y'all. Because in their eyesight, the only ones that deserve those privileges were the ones with money. And so in this society, the only ones that appear to be dignified are the ones with money. They stay in nice neighborhoods. They pay to keep their properties up. They're not speeding through lights and throwing garbage out. You don't find them sleep and nodding, standing up after snorting fentanyl or shooting heroin. So they get to keep that type of privilege. Anybody that's lesser and anybody up under that, you are predators. So it's going to affect you, super. It's going to affect you because your hustle, you don't have they don't have 9 to 5s, everyday jobs. So they're out in the streets. So they're gonna really affect them. And the ones that's with the money, they're gonna give in already because they want to keep their money. Okay. Let's see.
Means no known exposure to the coronavirus.
Further, by adding a premium credit card to its offer. Black.
Instantly. It will.
One of China's citizens for life. And what's weird is that so many people seem okay with it. It's complicated, but China went from extreme poverty to economic giant pretty quickly. The credit history system didn't grow at the same pace, so people would default on loans and get away with it. Adding scandals around big food.
So you know what it is to default on a loan? You go out and get a car and don't pay for it. You buy a house and don't pay for it. That's to file bankruptcy. So they're letting you do these things, and although you getting away with it, they're not letting you get away with it. They're gonna be like, this is the punishment for doing so, and they're gonna feel justified. Like, okay, well, we're trying to control and contain the problem, and doing that because we have lost billions and millions of dollars, or millions and billions of dollars because of what people are doing, being scam artists. You ever wonder why they put the PPP loans out there and then came back and prosecuted the people that they gave all the loans to?
People that didn't need them will get it.
Yeah. So they set traps, and that's why you're not to deal unjustly or be dishonest and take that, take the bait. Because that's what they're going to do. That's what they did here, and they're going to continue to do that.
Tainted baby milk, counterfeit goods, and what you've got is a big problem with trust. So, in 2014, the Communist Party called for a system to allow the trustworthy to roam everywhere under heaven, while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step.
So are we understanding what ushered it in 2014 for China? Because they wasn't dealing trustworthy. They took advantage of the opportunity. Instead of dealing right, they took advantage of it. So in our communities, all the people that are not trustworthy and they stealing and they, bankruptcy and all of it, filing bankruptcy, you got these people's good, now you're not going to pay for it. That is going to open up the door for them to have a cloak to say, hey, this is why we're doing this. This is what she's insinuating.
SR, restricted, or worst of all, Class Q, quarantined. No cash, no assets, no freedom of speech, and you will have a vaccination requirement.
The health QR codes generally feature 3 color schemes: green, yellow, red, which provide a clear visual representation of someone's health status. As COVID-19 evolves in China, so too do the health codes. When they were first introduced in February 2020, it featured just one single code. The latest version of the health code features not only the QR code itself, but also the user's last PCR result. A green code means no known exposure to the coronavirus and a negative PCR test result. A yellow code means a person has either just been discharged from COVID-19 hospital.
So what they're explaining now is that, in China they got 3 codes: green, yellow, and red. Green, you've never been exposed. So they know. And those of us who have been exposed before, you will get red. And red, you will be treated differently than people that has never been exposed before. So you will be quarantined and all live together in the camp to avoid you dealing with the people that has a green card. That's what they're doing in China, is what they're saying.
Or has not been tested for the disease in more than a week. Some cities will also issue a yellow code to a person whose mobile phone was connected to the same cell tower as the infected. Officials coined the term company of time and space for this situation. A red code means
So they even go off of your cell phone. So they trace in cell phones, and if your cell phone is pinged a tower, because check this out. This is the weirdest thing. Have anybody ever called you out the Sky Blue random and call and ask to speak to somebody that you know, but you ain't spoke to in years? And you like, why you calling my phone? No, you got the wrong number. But you know this person. This person is a relative of yours. That ever happened to anybody? Show of hands. Just me and her? Nobody else?
Not a relative. You said call and ask to speak to somebody that we know.
Somebody called and asked to speak to somebody that you know, a relative. No?
Random names.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. They say, can they speak to James?
No. I got a nephew, they call him Funny. I ain't spoke to him in 10 years or maybe more. A couple of days ago, somebody called and asked to speak to him by his government name. I was floored. I'm like, no, you got the wrong number. That's like, all right, thanks. What you understand is they keep track of anybody that you are related to that you might call for a long period of time. They create something. I don't want to get them on board, but you ever seen what's that thing? What's that skeleton called? That little grouping called? Maybe I have to. Mm-hmm.
Some relatives may use it as a reference. Some want to have an issue, some may call it them.
Yeah, something like this. And this is you. See? So you might call, I'm gonna put a bunch of names up here. You might call James, and another might call this you. So all these people right here somehow is related to you. You might not call these people, but these creditors But somehow, because even if they don't have the same, even if you don't have the same last name, somebody that's associated with this guy, let's give him a last name. Okay, this is Sonny, and this is Sonny Jones. And Harry has a last name of, give me a last name.
Jackson.
Thomas will, I'm spelled it like that.
Oh.
So, but, so, now, yeah, so, but wait a second. So he's affiliated with somebody with the name, with the last name Jones. Jimmy. Well, guess what? They're looking for this guy here, and they can't find him. So they might call Jimmy, but Jimmy has got the same last name as who? Sonny. So they'll call Sonny's number looking for him. They do that. They've done that. I ain't spoke to my nephew in over 10 years. And yet they call my phone looking for him. They called my phone looking for my sister-in-law, my brother's wife. So up under each and every last one of these people, they always know somebody. They all know somebody. And I'm telling you, my phone has been called over several years looking for their wives, people looking for their sons. And I've been appalled. Like, how do you have that type of information? So the reason why I'm saying that, because in this video, now, this person here, we're gonna give him blue. He's sick. We're gonna name Ann. This is a woman. She's sick. Give her address, right? And she's sick. So if your cell phone ping around Ann's house and Ann is sick, this is in China, they are going to automatically say, you've been around Ann. And you might be sick. So they
Change your status.
that changes your status. So instead of them taking a chance of asking you, that's why they ask you, have you been around anybody that has had COVID in the last 14 days? We all say no, but yeah, yeah, we have been around somebody that has COVID. We just didn't tell them because we want them to let us do. But the truth is, these people are trying to tell you, they got your phone record. So that's the tower. That's the tower by Ann's house. Your phone records indicate you've been around. You hit that tower. That's how they monitoring people. They know where you at. You can tell that they do it here in the States is because when they're trying to solve murders and you say that you was somewhere that you wasn't, and they check the phone records and see that your phone hit a tower in the neighborhood of the accused crime, they give you a case. So they're doing that right here, right now. All right.
Further,
is a big problem with trust. So, in 2014, the Communist Party called for a system under heaven while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step.
You will be Class C, common, or Class R, restricted, or worst of all, Class Q, quarantined. No cash, no assets, no freedom of speech, and you will have a vaccination requirement.
The health QR codes generally feature three color schemes: green, codes. When they were first introduced in February 2020, it featured just one single code. The latest version of the health code features not only the QR code, but also the user's last PCR results. A green code means no known exposure to the coronavirus and a negative PCR test result. A yellow code means a person has either just been discharged from COVID-19 hospital or has not been tested for the disease in more than a week. Some cities will also issue a yellow code to a person whose mobile phone was connected to the same cell tower as the infected. Officials coined the term company of time and space for this situation. A red code means a person is either infected, came into close contact with an infected person, or just arrived from overseas and has not quarantined.
Since mid-April,
So let me see so I can see the date on this. So what I'm seeing now is people outside of a bank chanting, "Where's my deposit?" And the date on this is June 27th, 2022 at 7:52 in the morning.
Mid-April, customers' deposits in several village banks in Henan, China have vanished. More than 400,000 depositors were unable to withdraw their deposits of nearly 40 billion RMB. The incident caused depositors to take action to defend their rights and also sparked public concerns. So where did the 40 billion RMB go? Can these 400,000 people still get their money back? We will talk about this topic today. Let's first briefly review what has happened. The case started on April 18th, when 4 village banks in Henan and 2 in Anhui suspended.
Heck no. They're showing a woman what everybody would do. Checking their card, calling the number on the card. Trying to see, okay, it's my money in this bank. They going to the banks. The bank's done. Packed up and closed. Gone. Kapoosh. It's in the digital world, like dead man in the spirit world. Security.
Online banking and mobile banking services using system maintenance as an excuse. Some depositors from outside the town found that they could not withdraw their money electronically through their online bank accounts, mobile applications, or third-party platforms at these banks. When the depositors rushed to the local bank in Henan, they were told that they were unable to withdraw cash at the counter either. The depositors then reported to the police, who claimed to have opened a case for investigation. In late May,
So it's a brother online said that he's in the UK, he's online right now in the UK, the cash machines stopped giving money, glitched for 2 days. Something's up. So the imminent, clear, and present danger is not only could your money get stuck in there, but it can also be worthless and useless. I'm not making it up. I'm just a messenger. So we have got to really soberly think, like, what should we be doing, and what should we be getting, and we should be getting certain things instead of losing our money to them, because they're gonna take it or render it worthless, nothing. All right, let's finish. This is live. Brand say he's in the United Kingdom and it's happening. He just said that about 15 seconds ago. So that ain't a video that I'm playing. This is a statement. He said Khan. So Khan means yes. He's giving a thumbs up now.
Waiting for more than a month without any results, the depositors gathered at the Henan provincial government to defend their rights, only to be beaten by plainclothes police, and out-of-town depositors were forcibly repatriated.
So they got beat. They was there looking for their money, and they got beat.
On June 10th, there was an incident that the health codes of the victimized depositors from all over the country were suddenly turned into red codes by Henan provincial government.
Then the government turned their codes red. Remember, they had the 3 codes: green, yellow, and red, right? So all the ones that was complaining, they got their codes turned to red.
A red health code means that one cannot travel on public transportation, cannot enter or leave public places, and cannot go to Henan to defend one's rights either. There.
It's interesting they use the word sovereign. That feels like our word, and they took it from us. That's the class you want to be in, the one that offers all the freedom. There won't be a single patriot with a class, S, or designation. Not a single one. That leaves us powerless when this goes online. They know that. So we either act now, or we will be fined, punished, and eventually eliminated. Whoever you are, who you voted for, where you live, how many guns you have, how much food you bought, everything you posted online. And that's why you are going to be class, common, restricted, or worst of all, quarantined.
The first one is from Shanghai. It shows a mother crying for her child. She was separated from her family when her vaccine passport came out red. China, you see, has these vaccine passports for its citizens. They carry a QR code, and it is scanned every time you step out. If it's green, you're okay, you're good to go. If it's red, they will lock you up right away. Video number 2 is from Anyang City, currently under complete lockdown. What you see on a screen are primary school children, believed to be potentially infected, being taken away to quarantine camps. They are being locked up alone without their parents.
Took some
The
children
third
from
video
school.
is from one of these quarantine camps. It shows a child locked up alone inside a metal box. A CNN report says that in Anyang City alone, there are at least 4,000 such children. 4,000 children living alone in quarantine camps without any parental supervision. It's horrid to say the least. The fourth video shows COVID guards patrolling the streets. This one is from Hangzhou City, which is under partial lockdown. Health workers routinely set out on inspection drives like these, checking vaccine passports, testing people randomly, and locking up those who do not comply. And the fifth video we have for you tonight is from Zhongshan City. It shows people running away with their luggage to catch the next bus out. The city recently announced a lockdown. A lot of people left to escape restrictions that could see.
That's not what you want. Did you hear the last one? There was a video of people running with their luggage trying to catch a bus out to avoid being locked down. So if you love your life, you're gonna lose it. Trying to hold on to it, man. Listen to what she's saying.
running away with their luggage to catch the next bus out. The city recently announced a lockdown. A lot of
Instead of a luggage, people have bug out bags. You gonna go, get the bug out bag? It ain't even complete. It ain't even packed. People ain't got a doggone bag and it's empty. So now you tell me, there are people that that day has come for them already. It's come for them already. It ain't came for you yet. But what's gonna happen when it's your time? Where you gonna be? You gonna be at work. And you gonna think that it's gonna pass because I gotta do what? I gotta be back at work tomorrow. Oh man. This thing hit. And okay. That's just keeping you busy, keeping you from walking up and down the streets. Do you not know that these people got the resources to feed every single person without even having to have a piece of paper called $1? They can feed you, meal you, and drink you, and do all of this stuff without even having to do anything, without it costing anything. Straight up. And every job that's being done, they can get that done merely off volunteer. Enough volunteer. The stuff that they doing, man, is just slavery and occupying and burning your time up to keep you from to keep the playing fields interiors from low stages all the way up into high.
people left to escape restrictions that could see them locked up for days or sent to quarantine over mere suspicion.
What they want can't happen in a time of relative prosperity. During a recession, they need a collapse, and it's coming. And the groundwork for it is being laid right now. They literally had to take a break from COVID because all resources are going into this.
So go back to the book, Matthew 24. So any questions about anything that we just heard? Any questions, any comments? Yeah.
Hello, please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. Please enter your host code or press star to join the conference. We will now connect you to your call. You are the first attendee in this conference. Your host has joined. Conference recording started.
Are there any like countries that it's not implemented this, like Switzerland, some place that it's not known?
So now everybody is going to be on board. That's a good question. He was asking, is there going to be any place that's not going to be on board? Every place, even Africa. A lot of people, they run to Africa, even the continent of Africa. Ham has already lost the continent of Africa. is he doesn't control Africa. He think he does. Those are puppets over there, you know. I'm trying to get something that's gonna nail the head, hit the head right on the nail to show you. Other than so Psalms 83. Okay, so the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and we'll get to the point so we don't have to explain the rest. In verse 5. Read that, yeah.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent.
Right, they have consulted together with one consent. So it's telling you everybody, all these people, go ahead.
They are confederate against thee.
Go ahead.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Right, the tabernacle, so that's more than one. So every, because also known as the UE, the European Union. So now the European Union doesn't not just consist of all Europeans, but it's their union, just like the pipe fitters union, the carpenters union. So the carpenters union has many different locals. You know, let's just say local from 1 up to 100, many different locals, but it's still the carpenters. And to be in that union, you have to be a carpenter. So in order to be in the UE, you have to consent unto Edom. All right. So the tabernacles. So the people in Switzerland, those are Edomites. Russians are Edomites. Spain and Germany, Great Britain, and Italy. All of those are Edomites. Doesn't matter what name they go under. Rome, Edom. All their tabernacles, they in on it. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
Right. Whether the Arabs, even the ones behind the automotive shops, the ones behind the liquor stores, the ones that's at the filler stations, and even the ones in Saudi Arabia, the ones that's in Dubai, all the Arabians all over the world is consenting with Edom to dog you out and drag you through the mud. They love you because you are faithful to bring them some money. You go in there and you get your gas, you get the coffee, you get the snacks, you get the chicken wings from behind the counter. They love our little horse women that go up in there and smile behind the thing and work for them, and God only knows what they do. They love us. These people think that we are given to them for a spoil to run through and run over. That's why you got to take your dignity back as a woman and as men with the commandments. Okay, go ahead.
Of Moab.
Moab. Plastering your faces on the outside while you putting plastic and synthetics in your hair, using you as models. But they don't patronize your business. You can set up shop. A Moabite will never come to your shop and buy one thing from you. An Ishmaelite will never come and buy not one thing from you. Not one time. Why we haven't figured that out as a people. Us, the conscious ones, the ones that understand this and see this, the ratio is like a bucket in the ocean. Because they'll say, oh, yeah, I know. but you still go to the Moab. Go ahead.
And the Hagarenes,
Go ahead.
Gabal, and Ammon.
Right. So Hagarenes, Gabal, those are descendants from Ham. All right. And Ammon. Okay. And Amalek. All right. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them and have hope in the children of Lot. So you got all nations included in there. And wherever in the world these people are, they gonna be on board. Now go to the book of Job, the 9th chapter. And 24.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right. So the Bible is saying that the planet is controlled by someone wicked. The planet is controlled by someone wicked. And I'm going to show you who that wicked person is. Read it again.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
So we're showing you that there ain't going to be nowhere you're going to be able to go to seek refuge from here in the city and be on stream to where you living like it is now. That because the number one, check this out. The number one currency right now on the earth is the American dollar. Let me check that. Yep. I said, what's the number one currency? The US dollar has established itself as the most traded currency in the world. And whose inscription is on that? Caesar. The government of Caesar. It is the currency of the United States of America. It is also the primary reserve currency of the world, as both the commercial and central banks throughout the world hold the US dollar for doing international transactions. So, we at the earth. So that's Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. So the true judges of the earth is us, the Israelites, the Hebrews, because even though that there has been some wicked and lawless kings in time past, the judges, the righteous judgments that's been in Israel, the ones that were righteous, has been far above all the heathens that has ever lived. It's some judges now that's in the earth that would do a lot better than any Edomite alive, as far as discerning between what's right and what's wrong. I believe, exclude myself, but all the brothers here have the ability to judge righteous more than any Edomite alive that has to determine what's right and wrong. Now, they might have experience, in certain things, but when it comes to what's right and what's wrong, you will be able to do make the decision what's right and what's wrong. And the number one thing is, if you don't know, you will have the ability to reach out and ask and get help, opposed to them in their pride. They would just do something just regardless of who it might affect, who it might hurt. They'll just do it because being pressured, this is what the people want. So I'll give you an example. You know how in time past, they would kill people knowing that they was innocent, but the people wanted judgment, whether it was an electric chair or death by hanging or the guillotine or lethal injection or people rot in jail. Yeah, people rot in jail. And they would actually let those sentences fall knowing that they got the wrong person. But because they needed to appease the wrath of people, they afflicted innocent people. That's not something that y'all would do. Afflict somebody that's innocent. Charge them guilty for something that they didn't do. I have the ability that each and every last one of you brothers have the ability to do that. Therefore, making you above all people that are put on the face of the earth. And you will use the Most High's commandments to do it. I believe that. And if ever you had an issue, that the Most High will put people into your life to where there's checks and balances, and you can say, hey, am I doing this right? So, yes, the judges are covered. And people don't know that you are the real judges, but the Most High knows. And that's the reason why once you endure, you're going to inherit the kingdom. Like Matthew 5:5 says, the meek shall inherit the kingdom. So the true judges are going to inherit this kingdom and shall judge all these nations. And they're going to judge correctly according to the laws of the Most High. All right. So the other one that I wanted is Isaiah 14. What are we establishing? We're establishing who has the earth. Okay, so Isaiah chapter 14 and getting to the point, verse 21, read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
So back up. Jump back to verse 12.
Isaiah 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Right, so heaven is a state of being. Okay? Heaven is a state of being. And this is not talking about Satan. It's talking about a nation of people that has the spirit of Satan in them. And they've fallen from being on top. Go ahead.
Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground?
Right, so they're going to be cut all the way down to the ground. Go ahead.
Which didst weaken the nation.
Right. How did they weaken the nations? Remember, in Psalms 83, they are all together with one consent. Right? Okay. And so when you read the book of Daniel, the book of Daniel tells you how all of these nations are mixed together. They weakened the nations through sin by having the nations partake with their sins, period, and against the children of Israel. Okay, so the the book of Revelations, chapter 14. And verse 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 8. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen.
So Babylon. So this is the daughter of ancient Babylon, because this is the children. The people that got us are the children of the ancient Babylonians in the ancient days. Okay? So when we go back to Isaiah 14, and it says, prepare slaughter for her children, it's talking about preparing slaughter for the children, the people that you live with in this time. You are not to mind and say, put into your mind, oh, they're going to be with us. They're going to serve with us. We're going to share this. It's going to be like, no, the scriptures say, prepare slaughter. I put it like this. You're riding with somebody, right? And they cool with you. Follow me, right? Let me entertain. They cool with you. But you talk to the boss on the line, and the boss is in your earpiece saying, yeah, go ahead and prepare slaughter for that person. Like, no, I had other plans. We gonna ride after I pick this up from you. You coming to get the bag, the money, the new car. You finna go and kick it. You finna kick it with your man. You finna kick it with your person. But the boss said, prepare slaughter for him. How do you not get that the boss wants you to kill this person? How do you not get that? In your mind, be ready to destroy this person. That's what the Bible is saying, opposed to what's really happening in this earth. In this earth, our people are ready to give everything back to the oppressor. The children of the oppressor. Let me put it like that. The sons and daughters of the ancient Babylonians who walking and living in your inheritance and the inheritance of your brothers. This country ain't never been Edom's land. The tribes that the Lord brought over here after they left Assyria, this has been their property. And they covered it with pale faces and $5 people. So, Revelations 14, and where you saw it, verse 8. So, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen, that great city. Go ahead.
Because she made all nations.
The one in Psalms 83. All the nations do what?
Drink of the wine.
Drink with her. Go ahead.
Of the wrath of her fornication.
Meaning everything that the Most High is against, they have made all these nations say, here, go ahead and take a sip. If you get a lick that's making you money, you mean to tell me you're going to stop that scheme? You going to stop that? Bro, you ain't going to stop that. You're not going to stop that. This is good to them. The worst neighborhoods. Crown Mark Liquors. King Mobiles. We're kings is what they say on the buildings outside our rundown neighborhoods. They put stone fronts, paved parking lots, and 4 of them run the joint. Poisoning our people with alcohol what time these joints be opening up? And you wonder why you waking up going to work and guys are walking down the street with tall can beards. Like, bro, ain't no eggs this morning. No eggs this morning. We got 2 big ones and drinking on one. 8 o'clock in the morning, headed back to the porch. Like, who sold you that? Everybody in on it, man. They ain't got to listen. They ain't got to sell rocks. They popping. You selling them little rocks to the crack rocks and stuff. People come in 20, 20, 20, 50, 50. Give me 3. I'm 60. Give me 4. Give me 100. Give me a nick. Give me a bump. Whatever all that stuff is. Give me a bump. Give me this. Give me that. Let me see it. let me look at it. I got $2. You know what I'm saying? They look. Remember, people be looking on the ground for the dust, looking to see if something fell. Yeah. Hey, they got something to sell. That big, the little liquor bottles. They selling everything. That's the crack. The liquor is. They popping. Right out there, man, pausing our people. So they made all these nations dream of what's gonna get them messed up, fornicating with them. So this fornication is not just a sexual fornication; it's a reckless, lawless, abominable fornication that the Most High says that. Because remember. Wait, let me hit y'all with this. Esau was whose brother? Who was Esau's daddy? Who was his granddaddy? That's right. And Abraham and Isaac was righteous. So you mean to tell me that they didn't teach Esau? That's right. They taught Esau. Esau is just stubborn, hateful, and rebellious, and he's a murderer. So on his bench to be reckless, he got all the nations in on it with him. Okay, so now that you know that, now let's go back to where was that? Job. Did we read the Job? Oh, okay, Isaiah chapter 21. Isaiah chapter 14, 21.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21.
So let's do something funny. Everybody, we finna ride with a whole village of Babylonians. You riding with them, and you get this message. When you hear this over the radio, what you gonna say? What you gonna do with your village? Look at some of y'all. You gonna take them with you in the kingdom after you got the memo? The memo told you what to do with them. All right, let's read it.
Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
So what happens when they tell you they didn't do it? All right. Now the Lord is He's gonna bring people alive. He's gonna bring people back, and some people ain't gonna die. Some of them, they ain't gonna die. All of them ain't gonna die. But the ones that do live, they're gonna go into servitude. But you cannot. This message is saying, don't be trying to get in the kingdom. Prepare slaughter for them. Don't give them the kingdom for everything that their fathers did. Because what they did was, racism is handed down. If it wasn't for the racism that started with them, when you read Ezekiel 35 and under Mount Seir, when the scriptures tell you how they treated us, they don't hate blood, they love it, this, that, and the third. That's the reason why. They call it, white power, even though they're red. That's the reason why. So, you can't give them the kingdom. So, the ones that live, they're not living because you say so, because that's how you want it to be. They're going to survive and live because the Lord is going to say they're going into captivity. When you read Revelations 13:10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So the chain going to get slapped off. They're going to have to now become servitude to the elect. And the ones that are even thinking and feeling like that, they might not even make it. So you want somebody to hide something that you don't even get. They might make it and you don't. Because they're going into captivity. You can't go into captivity. You an Israelite. Israelites ain't going into captivity. You either make it or you don't make it. That's it. How many people think about that? Either you make it or you don't make it. You don't go into captivity. You don't have a low status. Oh, I'm gonna be there, but I'm not going to just be with them because they truly believe. If you don't believe, you don't make it. You ain't there. All right, no, you ain't there. So perpetual slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers. Read on.
That they do not rise nor possess the land.
Nor possess the land? What land is this talking about? Any land, especially our land. Here's our point. Read the last part.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities.
You see, nor fill the face of the, because everywhere you go, you got them. And they made sure that because they have taken over the earth, like the Job 9 says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Go ahead.
For I will rise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name.
So stop. Wait. This is showing you who this is. This is Babylon. And the children of Babylon have you in captivity right now. All right, go ahead.
And remnant, and son, and nephew, said the Lord.
Everything that, all relations, cousins, nephews, uncles, everybody is X'd out, said the Lord. Go to the book of Zechariah, the 2nd chapter. All right. So Zechariah chapter 2. Zechariah chapter 2, and I'll start at 1 and then give it to you. All right. I lifted up my eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and with another angel went out to meet him, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men encounter therein. For I, said the Lord, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. So I believe that this prophecy is going into the protection of Israel. Okay? Because the next verse will help us to understand why I said that. That the Lord said he's going to be a wall. Because remember, in the city of Jerusalem, there's a wall, there's walls, and there are gates. So this is not referring to then. This is referring to now and what we need to do. So now it says, ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, said the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, said the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with who? With their children. So you can't, how you going to be with their children and leave their children too? For thus says the Lord, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations that spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of my eye. I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. Not be with them. You're going to be a spoil to their servants. Who's their servants? Us. And ye shall know that I, the Lord of hosts, have sent me. So we're going to remember and know that the Bible is true, because you don't get to see Zechariah. This was the prophecy for it to come, not for the day and present. Because when this was wrote, Israel wasn't in the land of the north. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. So now you're the seed and the children of Zion, just like they're the seed and the children of the Babylonians. The kids are playing together, and they have to be separated because you got the short end of the stick. Just like even back then in plantation time, the children, they played together. The slaves had the short end of the stick, didn't they? The children had to eat the slop, had to work in the heat, and still had to go back out to the broken up houses. Where the other children, they ate good, lived high on a horse, and then they went up into the big house. Oh, and they still loved each other because they were what? Please say friends. Friends. They were friends. And the little slave babies didn't know that they were getting the short end of the stick the whole time. And that wasn't a fair trade. But they were what? They were friends. And that could be real confusing to a mind when you're like, we didn't do it, it's they doing. It's the adults, it's them that's doing that. So the Most High is like, listen, despite your misunderstanding on who's doing it, I'm going to separate you from all of them, because little ones grow up to be what? That's right. They grow up to be big ones. They do. So come out from among them and be separate. That's what the Bible's talking about in 2 Corinthians. So let's go back to Matthew 24. Any questions on this before we go? Because I think initially, was there somewhere we can go? Nah, it ain't nowhere you're going to be able to go. The objective is to survive. Yeah. Before we get that, What's it? Revelations 13.
Hey, Sheriff.
Yeah.
I got a quick question.
Who is this?
Hey, this is Judah. Hey, how we plan on surviving on land that's not ours and that we have to pay for? How do you survive on land that you have to pay property tax to when stuff hit the fan? Like, if everything's digital, how do you pay property tax on land that's not basically ours? That we didn't, that's not ours, basically. How do you survive in a situation like that?
Okay, I'll answer it. Just wait for it, okay?
All
right. So, Revelations 13. And 16. So Revelations 13 and 16, read that.
Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So remember, these are the Babylonians, the daughter of Babylon, the children of the ancient people. And their objective is to cause everybody, it says both small and great. Whether you are a small person in this earth, common, meaning there's nothing special about you. That's what common is. Or great, or you somebody great. All right? Name somebody great. Let's name somebody great that's not rich. And don't be like, to me, I'm not talking about you, bro. Yeah, you're great. King, you want to be called king? No. You know what I'm saying? Let's name somebody great that's not rich. It's kind of hard. I'm thinking too, but they don't have to be rich. They could be dead. Malcolm X. Okay. Malcolm X. Great revolutionist. Malcolm X. Dr. Sebi. Thank you. Some good names. They did some phenomenal work, right? If they wanted to live in corporate America, if they wanted to live in the system, even though they great, Mr. Sebi being alive, he's just another nigga to them. Now, I don't take him as calling him nigga. That's derogatory, but that's how they look at all of us. So we esteem him great, but they don't have no respect for him. That's why they killed him. Poisoned one of the healthiest men in the world. Mr. Malcolm X, great revolutionary spokesperson, very bold, very smart, killed him too, assassinated him. We thought he was great. To them, that's just another nigga. Marcus Garvey, same thing. Okay? All right? So, small or great. Okay? Knock it off. Small or great. Doesn't matter, you can be fancy, you can be bright, smart. Those guys were smart, complex minds, gifted from the Lord. They still would have to get that if they were alive. So a lot of prominent and dominant and very influential people today, great men, they from check to check, just like we are, even though they at a different tier. They might be at, I don't know, making a lot of money, but they stay in high income life. Financial portfolios, cars, bills, all of that. So as fast as they make that money, they got to get that money. They got to pay that money back out. Henry Newton, yeah, I like that guy there. Young dude. Yeah, y'all look up Henry Newton. It's a young dude. He was a Black Panther. Mm-hmm. No, I think it's Henry. But anyway, or is it Huey? It might be Huey. Okay, very close. My man is very close. Now he's saying something different. Henry P. Newton. Huey. It's Huey, not Henry. You're right. He's right, but he's just pronouncing it wrong. It's Huey. He got killed by gunshot in 89. He was born in 42. Revolutionary. I checked this. I've seen some information about him. He's with the Black Party Panther. All right, so back to where we were. So these were great people. If you wanted to stay on board with the system, and you were great, you got to get the mark. That little microchip about the size of a grain, either shot up in your nasal cavity where it launch and stay, or stick out your hand, put it in the hand then, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. The same way that they shoved that cotton tip up your nose when they tested you for COVID. That no man might buy or sell, save he to have the mark. Okay? So let's lose that. Back to Matthew 24. So Matthew 24, and so remember, Christ said in verse 34, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. So we remember what that meant, right? What does it mean, Jabril?
Verse 34. It means that the generation living now is not, it's still going to be alive, but they're going to experience it too.
Anava.
Basically, the generation that's living going to go through those things.
Say it again, man.
the generation that's living will have to go through those things.
The generation that's living are gonna have to go through those things. Remember, I started off with what Christ said, and so I was referring to him, what he said to them people in that time, not relating it unto us. Earlier I said that, you know, likewise when we see, but I didn't go through that spiel about us seeing the warnings and things like that. I came back and said that this is what Christ said, for all I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until they see, until all these things be fulfilled. And so he was explaining to them that because I'm dealing with, I went back to his time period because I said that he said that to them. So that's why we have to, you know, follow along. So in other words, Christ is telling them that the stuff is going to happen in their lifetime. So I'm dealing with Christ in his lifetime and the people that he's talking to in their lifetime. I understand I just left Revelation 13 and what would happen, but now I'm dealing with Christ in his lifetime and what he was telling those people. So now verse 35, read that the while.
Heaven and earth shall pass away.
Meaning things will change. That's what that means, heaven and earth. The heaven is never, the creation of God above the firmament is never being destroyed. Man can't destroy that. Swing and try and hit it and see what happens. Kaboom, shoot at the moon and see what happens. Nothing. Only God can do that, and he's not going to destroy the work of his own hands. There's no reason to. He'll destroy you. You could never, no matter how much rage or fury or rocket you strap yourself to, you will never be able to reach that. You can't do it. So the heaven and earth are statuses. They gonna pass away. Go ahead.
But my words shall not pass away.
Right, meaning you can't do away with what I'm saying. All right, go ahead.
But of that day and hour knoweth no man.
So what is Christ saying? What is he telling them? That is going to happen, but nobody knows when. But he also told them that the summer is nigh, which represented, and he gave them the fig tree and said, hey, you got leaves. This thing is growing. Now, what day and hour that is going to happen, nobody knows, but it's going to happen. He was like laying it out for them, but saying it's going to happen in your lifetime. So now when we put ourselves in that mind state that he was putting them in our lifetime, is going to happen because the branches are tender and summer is near. Even though summer is heading to be over, don't look at the season like that. What are you to examine? What example did he use?
Fig tree.
He used the fig tree. The fact that it sprouted leaves. And the sun makes plant to grow. Sun and the rain and the sun and the rain and the sun and the rain and the heat, it makes it to grow. So it's the tree that you're going after, not so much as the actual, but you know, we head into winter, it's not summer. No, you're not looking at that right. He's giving you the analogy of what happens with a small plant that's tender, that's headed towards summer. It's going to grow. It's going to grow. All right. So we're living in a time frame to where everything is tender. You know, it's fragile, but it's brought forth leaves. All the information dates. Who remember the date that I told you that these people are chanting outside of the banks about they lost their money.
July 27.
It was June. It was June 27, 2022. So with that being said, it's 2 months ago. Not 20 years ago. Not 200 years ago. 60 days. Another part in the world. So if the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, who's really responsible for those people chanting outside of the bank? Edom is. Because they are being trolled. Because the ones in China are being influenced. You say make all nations to eat of the wine of the wrath. Not some of them, but all. Even though they pose out in front that a disagreement. Oh, well, we don't agree, and you know, the little Chinese guy, I'll send some missiles over there, he ain't gonna send nothing. Because it's not written like that. Not yet. So the Most High is like, listen, everybody on this earth is going to comply to this guy at the end of the day. You ever seen somebody that talk bad and think they tough get knocked out? Well, you know, that's probably what would end up happening. You know, people, they have this delusion and this, well, if, you know, if they go up against China, China not scared of them. China gonna do this, China gonna do that. We thought that with the Arabs because they kept bombing them. They allegedly blew up the towers. They got suicide bombers, this, that, and the third. They don't care. They humbled like church mice. They went over there and took their gold, took their oil, took this, took that. So what happened to the big bad suicide bomber that didn't give a damn, a la Rockbot? What happened to those murderers and thugs and killers that was about their life that wasn't scared to die? They humbled. So don't let China make you think that, you know, that they'll stand up to the U.S. They'll stand up and they'll fight. They'll stand up and they'll fight. But the Most High said, this guy handles this. So you stay in the scriptures. Stay about believing the scriptures. Don't trust in lying words. All right. So where we at? But of that day and hour knoweth no man. So Christ wasn't able to tell them when it was going to happen. He was just able to confirm to them that it would happen in their lifetime. So everybody understand, we're still talking about when, then or now? Right, then. All right. No, not the angels in heaven, but my Father only. But he was giving them warnings that they should make preparations. It's the same thing now. The Lord giving us warnings because we see the leaves of this tree, wicked tree, growing. Go ahead, verse 39.
37.
37, yeah.
Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So let's examine the days of Noah. Let's try and talk about what the days of Noah could have been. He says, so shall be the coming in of the Son of Man. What was the day? So, yes, two different things, but let's go on to the days of Noah. We talked about that recently. What could that have been like, the days of Noah? Please, anybody.
Him teaching and preaching to the people, edifying them, and like he was a godly man, so he would be teaching throughout the time in that period, teaching the people.
Yup, and it came when they didn't even expect it. It came right up on them. And he said that that's how this stuff happens.
Right. So hearing and teaching and speaking. Now, during the time of Noah, let's put everything on silence. So during the time of Noah, go to the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
Right. So the Lord sees now that the wickedness of men is great in the earth. He see our sins. He see our actions. He see everything that we're doing. All the stuff that we complain about. You see the celebration of stealing from their own people. The little kids out there stealing. They don't go out in Creve Coeur, Ladue, Deep West County. They shouldn't steal, period. But they're taking from the poor. You know, now people have got to take their bill money and food money and possibly pay for a deductible. There are people, they stole cars from people that didn't even have insurance, wrecked their cars and tore them up. They didn't have no extra money to get their car fixed, and now they got to get a broken tow car out of the tow after it's been sitting there 3-4 days while they try and get money up, and every day makes the bill go higher and higher. That real big problem. Selling drugs, murdering, killing each other, dead bodies at the filling station. And killing people, man. So the Lord sees that. It's the same God that saw it during the time of Noah. So as in the days of Noah. So you don't think the Most High is looking at this stuff? He is looking at it. So God saw the wickedness of men, that it was great. So the Lord saying great wickedness. That every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil, what? Non-stop. That's what continuously. Non-stop. Guys are never stopping breaking the Most High's laws. That means for them to never stop, that means that they ain't in the laws at all. They doing everything that they want to do. This is how the world looks right now today. So this calls for a visitation from God. Read the next verse.
And it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
And it's grieving to him. So how do you think the Most High felt grieved then? The Lord is long suffering right now, even though he's grieving him, but he's long suffering with all the abominations that are happening right now in the world. All right, go ahead.
And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the earth, and repented me that I have made them.
Go ahead.
But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
So now let's go back to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37. Verse 38, start there.
This is Matthew chapter 24 and 38. For as in the days that were before the flood.
So before the flood, the Lord gave a description of how was everything. Jabril, give you another chance. How was everything?
Like it was easy going.
What does the scripture say?
It says rise in the days.
Nope, not that scripture. What did we read earlier? You got to stop being a forgetful hero. Who can help him out? You sure you guys?
Yeah.
Off memory, not reading it. I want somebody that's not looking at it. Now,
So men, they were continually clicking up on evil, continuing and saying and stuff like that. Like it seemed like it was really doing what they wanted.
okay. So you still looking at it? You turned it off? No, I'm saying you holding it.
I'm holding it. Yeah.
Okay, read what it says. You don't have to go there. He's gonna read it real quick.
It's saying that every imagination also is for
Real loud. Every
imagination.
Every imagination. Go ahead.
The thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
So men, everything that they thought was always evil. That's what's happening now. You can't convince anybody to keep the laws. Look at what they doing. You like, bro, you at a destroyed state of mind. You looking bad. You smell like smoke. You doped up, drunk, prostitute little girls running through any and everybody you can see. This is complete destructive. We're trying to build, they turn down. The Lord said, all they do is think about wickedness. So during the time of Noah, that's what was happening. That's from the Most High standpoint. I'm going to show you from our standpoint back then, the ancient Hebrews, what they was calling it. Read the next verse. Now Matthew 24 and 38.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Stop. Look at the different mindset. What did we call it? Read that part again. Just get those points.
Eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
What did God call it? Your mind is always continually evil. It's the same thing now. So you can't just have fun. I'm going out to eat. I'm drinking. I had a drink or two. Yeah, this is the real. This is the woman. This is the man. This is the guy. This is this. This is that and the other. The Lord said you wicked as, and all your mind is continually evil. That's two different ways of looking for a situation. Who you think gonna win? Who you think gonna be right in this matter? The Most High is right in the matter. That's what was going on. Nobody calls what they doing wicked. Nobody calls what they doing wrong. That's why you can't afford to take a chance and get it wrong. You can't afford, you don't have that luxury. I'm gonna shoot the dice. I'm gonna take a gamble. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You can't afford to do that. The only thing that you can do is follow the precepts, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Can you please pay attention, Mr. Goodwill 2100? Unless you're gonna bring out these precepts. Don't somebody online. So, do we understand what I'm saying to you? The people had a way that was thought that was right with them. Eating, drinking, and marrying. That's the whole duty of men in the earth. I'm gonna get me a good gal. The girl, I'm gonna find me a man that's listening to me, I'm good with. You're gonna find you a man that you listen to that's good with. We gonna play some CDs, we gonna watch some TV. Hey, and guess what? The Most High sees that, and sometimes people don't even go about that the right way. Don't even go about that the right way. You just end up in bed with anybody. You go out to the restaurant, you eat anything. Fighting, arguing, debate, all over the place. The Lord say you are wicked. You are always wicked before him. And that's when the floodgate comes in. People make up, get back on. You keep thinking, people keep thinking that they, oh, I got a time to get it. I got a chance to get it right. Then you're going to get some act right. Breaking up, making up, breaking up, making up. Your whole life is spent making up and breaking up, making up and breaking up, making up and breaking up, and then making up again. The whole time, you ain't right. The Lord said it was like that then. He give you a description of how he felt, always wicked. Christ give you a description on what they were doing. You put them two together and you have to draw the conclusion, God is right. They were wicked. They are wicked. Verse 20, continue that. Given in marriage until
the day that Noah entered into the ark.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Now, we don't have an ark to enter into. We're commanded to do what? Withdraw, retreat. Now go to Amos 8. There was Amos chapter 8. And verse 8.
The book of Amos chapter 8 and verse 8. Shall not the land...
No, Amos. No. Yes, but okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at two different things. So Amos 8 and yes. Well, Amos 8 and 11, and then we'll deal with Amos 9.
Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. Behold, the days come, said the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land.
Let's stop. Let's wait for everybody. All right. So Amos 8 and 11.
Behold, the days come, said the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Exactly. So remember I said that we'll retreat. The Most High is commanding us to what? To come out of Babylon, right? And to retreat. So when that thing happens, people are going to be wanting somebody to step up and talk what's right and hear this, that, and the third. So all those voices that they used to hearing over the microphone and stuff like that ain't gonna be there. Because you're being ordered to retreat. Now go to the 9th chapter. In verse 7.
The book of Amos chapter 9 and verse 7. Are ye not as children, O the Ethiopians, unto me? O children.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me? Go ahead. O children of Israel.
O children of Israel,
right,
said the Lord. Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from Ketor, and the Syrians from Ker?
Yeah, so he did bring us up out of the land of Egypt. So that's the Most High saying that I'm trying to tell you that you are going to have to come up out of those lands. Now, can you, if every land is going to be affected, this is what a lot of people don't process or don't understand, because I didn't always understand, but now I do understand. You leave the North Country to go to the South Country. The South Country is affected. You leave the North Country to go to West Country, West Continent, you go back so-called home, that's going to be affected. You go east, that's affected. Why? Because we showed you that the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked, and the Most High said that he calls it all. And everybody is in confederacy with him. So everywhere you go is going to be under that type of scrutiny according to the scriptures, because the Lord scattered us into the four winds, the four corners of the earth. And so this is going to affect everywhere you go. So you being strategic, you are going to have to pray and ask the Lord that, like, find me where Lot had, the Lord was sending him somewhere, and he asked the Lord, can he go somewhere else? And the Lord allowed him to do that. So you got to pray and ask the Lord, and that's what we're doing. You know, Lord, show me the direction that I should go in, and at the same time, you do have someplace, a direction that you would prefer to go to. Do everybody understand that? And not just in any direction.
Genesis 19 and 20. Right. 19 and 20.
Yeah, so the book of Genesis, chapter 19, and verse 19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, and verse 19.
Start at 17.
Verse 17. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Right. So are we hearing that the Lord is giving people instructions to escape for your life, what to do down here on the earth? All right. So don't let that. Now we're talking about it like, I don't know that to be God. You don't know God. You ain't never read the Bible. Go ahead.
And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life.
Right. How did he save his life? That's right. I'm telling him. Because he ain't left yet. So telling you is the first process. Telling you, informing you, that's the first part. That's saving your life. Don't sit there on the bumps and do nothing. Or guess what? You will be consumed. I'm pleading with you. The God in me is pleading with you, man. Are you listening? Are you going to repeat tomorrow like yesterday and the day before and last week and last month and the month before? He said, you have showed unto me mercy and saving my life, because the destruction was coming. That's Ezekiel 33. if he heard if he heard the sound of the trumpet and is warned, and he taketh not heed to the sound, his blood is on his hands. Yeah, that's Ezekiel 33 and 4. Go ahead and finish.
And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee into.
So now he said, now I have an option that I got a choice that I might want to do. See, this city that's near to me, I can flee unto it. Go ahead.
And it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. It is not a little one, and my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken.
Go ahead.
Haste thee, escape thither.
Right, go to the place to where you say you gonna go. Because the Lord had chosen a place, but he said, cannot go to this place. He said, okay, I've accepted that. But go, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. So everybody clear with that? All right, so, pray the Most High lead and guide you and open up. I want the place that the Most High want to go. I'm just hoping that if I run across something, I'm like, okay, this is what the Most High wants. Because if it's not of the Most High, that's not what I want. No, I don't want my will. I want his. Now, if this was me, I'd have went exactly where the Lord said to go. When we're like, well, can I go to this one? No, No, I make mistakes. The Most High don't. You make mistakes. The Lord don't. Always remember that. Take his choice. But he accepted that. All right. So let's lose that. I just wanted you to see that point. All right. And we were in Amos 9 at this point. And in 7, he said, have I not brought you up out of Egypt? Verse 10, 8. So those are 7, verse 9, 8.
Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
That's talking about this kingdom. Not an ancient kingdom. It's talking about this one here. All right. I wish I could hum the one of the little theme songs, their theme. Who knows it? That one there. Yeah. They're gonna block it for copyright, right? Oppressing people with that there. This kingdom, wicked as heck. He says, the Lord said, he said, I'm looking at them. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. So when the Most High begins to bring destruction, these people will be vexed. Remember how the Lord, when he began to jack the Egyptians up, who was the Egyptians mad at? They was mad at us. Right, they was mad at Israel for being jacked up by the Most High. Say, but I would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord. Now, in order for you not to be destroyed and to be part of the house of Jacob, not go to, where shall I go? Abanya, other than home. Obadiah. Huh? I can't hear what is that. No, I'm talking about in scripture. in order to not be destroyed. Hezekiah.
Where the Most High say go. Where the Most High tells you go.
Will he tell you to go? No, okay. I'm sorry, I'm confusing y'all. So we're gonna get it passed. It says, I'm gonna read it again. The end of 8, saving, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord. In order for us not to be utterly destroyed, the question is, where should we go in scripture that tells us what's going to keep us from being destroyed? Okay. Nephew.
2 Ezra 9:7.
2 Ezra 9:7? You're close. Let's see what that says. Okay, that's who's that? It's another one that I was looking for. Okay, we're gonna read him.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed.
Exactly. So all we see that you got to process that. It's a lot. Everybody that's going to be saved from the destruction and able to escape by your works. So your works is actually the working and application and faithfulness and the strat. You got to live a strat life. That's a life with restrictions. You got to be on restrictions. You got to be strict. And your restrictions, you can't be doing it. It's a burden to you. You don't like it. Stuff like that. It can't be like that. And then it says, and by faith. Because the Lord is going to be telling you to do things by faith. You got to live by faith. What's his name? Lot. Lot left by faith. Abraham left by faith. Jacob left by faith. You know the one that got consumed because their mind was still attached to the past. Who was that? Who got consumed? Okay, Trevon. Who got consumed because their mind was still attached to the past? Lot's wife. And the son-in-laws. So I wondered, did Lot kiss his wife that day? He hugged her, had her, touched her hand. Come on, baby. Now, I ain't kissing goodbye, but you know, he looked into her eyes. What color were they? Brown. Most eyes are brown. Before I said red. Brown eyes. She made him breakfast that morning. It was his woman. Sometimes you can be talking to your woman and you can handle your woman and you can control your woman to an extent and this, that, and the third. But hey, can't change her mind. She's got to change her mind. I know I'm not talking about my woman. I'm talking about Lot's woman. But, being a married man, you wake up and you do cross paths and, you do know that you have a level of faith. And so Lot had a level of faith and a level of obedience, and his woman had a level of faith and a level of obedience, but hers was kind of compromised because hers was kind of twisted and actually bent and selfish to the point to where, what was going on, this great city of Sodom, like people call, like people call America great. They love this. The Lord said this is a sinful kingdom. So imagine it's being exploded. You in the aircraft, and it's like boom, 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 boom. And the Lord said, don't look down. Or wait. Your husband tell you, don't look down out the window. If you're not used to listening to him, and you're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me looking. I'm just looking at the explosion. But for real, you thinking about what you losing. House back there, your car. And you thinking about this, your shoes, and you looking behind you, man. Instead of the judgment of the Lord falling upon them and fear of the Lord, like, man, God ain't playing. You thinking about everything you losing. What if you go into cardiac arrest in that seat? And it's because of you looking back, you disobeyed the husband. But actually it was the spirit of the Lord inside of the man telling you not to look down. Just don't even look back at that. Don't even worry about that. We moving forward. Look at how that disobedience can cause you. And there are many women that pick and choose when they're going to fully obey. When they're going to fully obey. So that sister, despite whatever interactions they had that morning, they slept together that night, whatever interactions they had this morning, that was all gone. And Lot was by himself. It was all because of her choice and her decision not to pay real close attention to what that brother, that angel, the Lord that was in the form of a man, told them not to look back. So when God tells you to do something, he don't mean do it your way. He mean do it his way. You gotta say something?
Yeah, that's a serious level of disobedience too, because the angel was there and she heard the words. It wasn't like he just told her just to lie. You know what I'm saying? She heard it directly from the mouth, you know what I'm saying, of the messenger. And so to really go against it, she really, that spirit or whatever chose her to do that really was against God. It wasn't even about lying. Not listening to lie. It was about, you know what I'm saying, her choices on that. And if you see in a lot of movies, they tell you stay in the car, I'll be right back. No, you know what I'm saying? The woman get out the car, she didn't get shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Whatever, you know, it could be kids or women, but she heard directly from the messenger, you know what I'm saying, what not to do and did it anyway. So that's a different level.
See, all you people that are unmarried, there's always a power struggle in marriage. There's always a power struggle in marriage. Like, I want you to do this. And the woman's like, well, I was thinking that. To a man, that's power. That's a power struggle. I want to do this. The man is like, no, I said do this. Do this, how and when, and like the moment I said it, because I know what I said when I said it. And you too shall run into that situation. Those that have been in relationships, you know it's the truth. It's everywhere on the face of the earth. Everywhere. I'm not saying that it's consistent all the time, but it's there. And so I'll give you a small example of it. Remember, this is about Lot and his wife. It has nothing to do with me and mine. Nothing to do. It's not subliminally. It's not anything. But being married for a very long time, I have experienced everything. I can almost be sure, because even didn't Lot linger? Didn't the scripture say he lingered?
Yes.
Fine.
Right, when he was moving too slow.
So you rush him, you rush her. When that pressure is put on him, you know, when the pressure is put on him, he's gonna put the pressure on her. Like, come on. He lingered. (19 and 16). 19 and 15. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, see, the Lord's like, yo, you know, you don't understand the mindset of somebody when they tell you to do something and you lingering. When they telling you to do something, they want you to move now. Like, make haste. What you dragging around for? Why would a man linger at home? You married? You're unmarried? You don't understand. You don't understand. Why would a married man linger? Because he has a family. He's waiting on everybody else. He's telling everybody else, come on. That's the power thing that I'm talking about. He could be ready to go right now. And she like, oh, I'm still crossing this T. I'm dotting this I. I'm gathering this. I'm getting that. She don't mean to be wicked. That don't mean that she's a double. That means that in her mind, I'm going to take a little bit more time to do what I need to do. Billy. Okay. I'm coming. Like, man, I can't win for losing. Come now. He out the car on the porch. You know what I'm saying? So, but Lot, he's lingering. And the men laid hold on his hand. So if Lot was wicked, they would have turned him to stone too. But it wasn't Lot. Why is he dragging? Foot dragging. They grabbed the guy by the hand and say, dude, I'm telling you. Let's go. And upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. Another act of mercy, grabbing his hand. Move it now. So I'm saying in that regard, there's some power like, oh, dude, I'm this, I'm that. And sometimes now means now. And they brought him forth and set him outside of the city. Hope we all understand. So even though they got set out the city, they left, her mind was still in the past, looking back. And so I tell you what, you want to go back there? Because this is not an example. And they didn't ask Lot, should they kill his wife? They didn't consider, well, let me talk to the children and say, talk some sense into your mother. They didn't do that. They killed her on the spot and left the children to process that. Left Lot to process that. If your sisters, if you are a lingerer or look back, wavering and double-minded, you better get your life together. You better get it in gear, because the Most High knows where your heart is. And if it's not after him, you're going to have some problems. All right. So my question, let's go back and then I'm going to answer the question with the precept that I had in mind. The 2nd Ezra 9 and 7 and 8 was good. All right. But let's go to 2nd Ezra 16. All right. and then we're going to reread Matthew 24. And what was it?
30.
Because that's the question about saving, right? What would no, we was
No, we
there
was
was
at
an Amos
9 and 8.
Amos 9 and 8. Go back to Amos 9. So Amos 9 and 8, I'm going to get it where it says, I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. So while the Lord is bringing forth the destruction, there will be a lot of mayhem and dysfunctional, unruly behavior going on. Okay, civil unrest. All right. So hold that and go to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. All right, 2nd Ezra 16 and 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Civil unrest. They shall take away certain of you and feed you. Being idle, meaning you being unable to stop them with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them. So even though you consent, so when things get rough, they mock what you do, make you bow down to their idols. Like, remember how openly what happened to certain people that didn't want to stand for the national anthem. You had to bow down for the national anthem. Did Michael Vick ever play football again?
I mean, Colin.
Kaepernick. For not bowing down to the idols. So now just imagine if they did that on open television and in the world and publicize it, what they would do without cameras. And then if you do give in to them and they that consent, like, so it's going to be like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do whatever to save my life. What is going to happen? Shall be had in derision. That means they're going to mess you up. So you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. They're going to torture you. And in reproach and trodden underfoot. Trodden, stoned. Beat, tortured, whipped, and stoned. Practice. It's bad. Torturing you, beating on you, practicing on you, cutting ears off, gouging eyeballs. You know how they make fun of our lips because they're full size, cutting your lips off, probably cutting your nose off, stuff like that. pulling fingernails out, beating your feet. You can't run. They used to cut our feet off, cut our hands off. For there shall be in every place and in the next city. So where you think, I'm going to get away and run over there, that's the next city. A great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So you think you're trying to be peaceful, say, yo, I'm peaceful, I'm about right, don't do that. You're still spoiled. You're still destroyed. For they shall waste and take away what? Their goods. Yeah. So people that have stuff saved and stored up, they're going to take that stuff away, man. And cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Look at that. So the Lord said his gold is going to go through all of these things right here. Yeah. There's no way around it. It'll be even worse if you don't come out of her. So even though you come out, you're still going to face these situations. You got to prepare and be strong. That's why you got to prepare to be physical, smart, and have some type of defense system to help yourself out. Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So out of all that stuff, it's prophetic for you to be delivered and not fall. In order for you not to fall, you would have to defend yourself. Do you know what you're doing? You're not looking for trouble, but if it comes, say, yeah, I'm the devil the Bible talks about. And then you're going to start being assaulted, and you have to be able to defend yourself. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide. And the guide of them who do what? Keep my commandments and precepts. So this is the one that I wanted. So the Lord will guide you if you keep the commandments and precepts all the time. Not just some, but all the time. Said the Lord, let not your sins weigh you down. So when you have committed sin, you should feel sorry for your sin. You should feel real bad for your sin. But don't let the sin pull your spirit down so much that you're depleted and discouraged and lost hope in trying again to get it right. So you're supposed to remember what you did wrong, and you're supposed to be aware of the thing that you did wrong. Not going in the way wherein you might fall. And not going around people that's seducing and influencing you to sin. Because the Lord ain't going to protect you like that then. You're going to fall by the edge of the sword. And let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So your former sins that you used to do, don't let that sin come back around. It's plain and simple. No, don't do it. Warn to them that are bound with their sins, meaning it has to be trapped. Sin's got you on a chain. Wait a minute, let me reword that. Woe be unto them that are addicted in their sins or with their sins, in their sins. You are addicted. You can't shake it. Woe is destruction. It's not blessed. Somehow, I believe that there's a group of good people here. Clean your act up even better. Sharpen it. Get stronger. Increase your faith. Keep the commandments. Believe in the Christ. Apply the scriptures. Because you brothers and sisters, you do have faith and you are doing the work. Everybody go through what we go through. But we have to increase in the application. This is the life for us now. We're commandment keepers. And that's the reason why it says, don't let your iniquity lift it up. Come back. Like you got sick before, you don't do something, the same thing that got you sick. You do something different. You hurt yourself before, you don't do the thing that got you hurt. You remember your health and your healed and your healings. So you don't overexert yourself. Hurt myself. So don't let that sin come back and lift up itself again. The way that you avoid sin is to flee from sin, run from it. You don't hang around sin or play with sin or tempt sin, or you don't do none of that. Then you won't have to fare the worst. Fare, F-A-R-E, means to pay. You don't have to pay for the worst. Don't try and manage sin. Don't even meddle with sin. Don't even play with sin. You can't control sin like that. Even the touch of it will corrupt you. All right? So we're going to lose that. And go back to Amos chapter 9 and verse 9.
The book of Amos chapter 9 and verse 9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among...
Right, so sift means cause to move. So the Lord's causing you Israelites to move. I will sift the house of Israel. Go ahead.
Among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sea, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
Right, so if they don't listen, then they're going to die by the destruction. The sword is the things that we said is coming. Go ahead.
Which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Right. So now let's go back and Matthew 24. So in Matthew 24 and 38, they were doing all of it. They were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So Noah went into the ark, the Lord will cause us to move. That's why we went through those precepts. So the Most High saved Noah, the Most High saves us by taking us out of the situation, trying to help us to be sufficient, because you won't be able. You do know that the lady did not get the items that she went to the store for, right? So you will not be able to get the items that you'll be seeking to get. We do understand that part, right? So the Lord will have to cause, he would have to move us to where you can. What's your favorite food, Shy? You don't have a favorite? Okay. Who ain't heard from today? Young blood all the way in the back. The other young blood. Juan, what's your favorite food? Pasta? I think you probably should try and learn how to grow pasta then. You gonna run out of your favorite. It's gonna get real like that. Yeah. Yeah, you better do some research and say, when this time up, how would I be able to have a pasta? So we're gonna do a little experiment, and y'all can just raise your hand. Who likes pasta? Raise your hand. You never thought about going without pasta, did you? What about, okay, so the different noodles. You got the macaroni, you got the spaghetti, fettuccine, linguine. Wait a second. So now everybody that likes that, I'm thinking that you're going to have to, like, how do I grow this? Because you will not have it. You can't buy it. Panini? Yeah. Somebody else. What else is a favorite? Trevon?
Same.
Pasta. Okay, so we got the pastas out of the way. I ain't gonna ask this one. He got his boy appetite is big. Yeah, yeah, you eat a lot of food, man. Okay. His? You don't have a favorite. Okay. James? That's where you heard from. Chicken. Okay. So let's address the elephant in the room. He can eat chicken all day. How many chicken lovers here? Oh, okay. Wait a second. So it's 20 people in here loving chicken. Now wait a second. I'm just trying to give y'all the realization of what's going on. 20 chicken lovers. And don't be stupid with it. How many chickens we're gonna start off with how many chickens? Nah, see, that's stupid with it.
60.
No, that's too much. No, you train and started chickens. About 4 or 5. Wait. See, you missing the point. To yourself be true. Because I'm really trying to show you how far we behind. To yourself be true. You might start out with about 4 or 5. Something you can control. Because first and foremost, we tight with that dollar. We're going to buy some chickens. You're going to save that money. But everybody up in here love chickens. So the question is, you got 5 chickens. How many chicken wings you got? 20. Somebody can't do math. Wait a second. How many? You got 5? Yeah, this ain't churches. You got 5 chickens. Stop it, guys. You got 5 chickens. 25 people in here love chicken. How many chicken wings do we have? You only got 10 chicken wings. Wait a second. We only got 10 chicken wings. And we got one big problem because Kasai only eat flats only. I got some bullshit. Flats only? So every chicken wing you eat, this sister gotta have a flat. Ain't that bougie? But wait a second, that ain't the biggest problem. The biggest problem, we just killed our supply. In order to eat chicken wings. You got a bird in the yard like this. You trying to keep him alive. He got an ace bandage wrapped on him. You in heading them all up to where he accepted. He got the other one. He didn't let you do that. Animals, you can trick animals to be your friend and shit. You got them all wrapped up, ace bandage. You can change the bandage from day to day. He one wing, you gonna try and save the bird. Like, well, I'm sorry. Come on, man. To supply a camp like this with food like that, it's like we eat chicken every other day. You're gonna need hundreds of chickens. It's different. Let me go to the store and just nothing but wings. Let me get, man, I eat 10 wings by myself. No, not whole wings. Whole wings, I eat 5. 5 whole. Who else eat 5 whole wings? You eat more than that? 6. 6 whole wings. 15 whole wings?
That's on my wingheads.
Okay, 20 whole wings. Well, you don't eat no 20 whole wings. I'd be throwing up.
He said I'd be throwing up.
Sequoia eat 20 whole wings or 25? 30. Wait a second. So the question there is to really show you, hey man, y'all see what we would really need. But in a situation like that, we can't eat. You can't have that type of palate. Those people are, I think not, this man don't need nothing uncovered. So he's severing a bird. He dissecting a bird like we did frogs. So he cutting the wings off. All the wings probably go in this direction. The legs and thighs, after he pump them up with saline water and stuff, go to churches. You know, so wings stop get the wings and churches get the legs and thighs. Because churches have boxes of nothing but leg quarters or wings or thighs, this, that, and the third. So we'll have to consume the whole bird. Now your eating habit will have to decrease because you will go through all the food sources. Meaning I would set up a couple of times and eat a whole bird. Yeah, half the chicken, sit there and just pick half the chicken. Big one too. Leg, wing, thigh, and breast. Eat the other side with a salad. Rotisserie it up. So in a situation like that, we'll probably have to feed. That'd be tough. Small people get the wing. Next size person up, get the thigh. Then an adult get a thigh, and another adult get a thigh. Then you probably have to break the breast in half. The breast is connected to the thigh. No, not the thigh, but the back. The breast is connected to the back. So you on both sides have to feed 4 people, and have then you got vegetables and stuff out of the garden. So in other words, you can't just run through it like you got it in the world, because you can't. Oh, let's just go to the grocery store that sell nothing but this, that, and the third. That's the food source, and then won't be able to eat meat every day because they take time to grow and stuff like that. So you can't just eat it every day. You got to spend more. You got to spend a lot of time raising them and taking care of them before you harvest. So the everyday food habit of eating the meat, you probably can grow more vegetables. Vegetables grow, like I've had last year was my big green harvest, and they was producing greens on a weekly basis. Like you cut the leaves and you got some little ones, then the big ones, they grown by the end of the next week. It was growing so many greens that the house was disrespecting them. And I used to be like, please don't disrespect the food. Freeze it. When you gonna boil this down? When you gonna boil this down? Boil it down and put it in the freezer, man. Don't just let this. I mean, it was just growing like grass. Much turnip greens, it was growing like that. Them turnip greens, they're struggling this year though. I don't know what it is. I just put some more fertilizer in there yesterday and threw some more soil in there. But some guy told me I think I'm gonna have to do this, for my beds, for my plants. Take some manure. He said liquefied. Take some manure, put it in a can, put some water in there, and close the top, and just let it break down, and then just pour it over into the bed. But I got some young plants that I don't want the manure to burn, so I won't do that. So I ain't gonna listen to them like that and kill the plants, because I got some cucumbers, some young cucumbers. I got some cucumbers that came back, and that surprised me. But I got some young cucumbers that's in the flower that I don't want to. My cucumbers, when they grow, they was spitting out weekly. I mean, they was growing. They didn't grow like this other stuff, but they was fire. They was growing bigger than them water bottles and longer. Everything tastes better than in the store. I mean, I'm talking about good, clean, crisp eating. Like fresh air, good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the store. I think the store is picking food too soon and refrigerating it to the point to where it's freezing and thawing and freezing and thawing. And then they know how to make it be a certain way for us on the shelf. But straight out of the ground, straight out of the garden, it's really, really good. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is really super fire. I want to turn us on to beet greens. Beet greens is better than the turnip greens and better than spinach. It's extremely exceptional. Beet greens. Beet is the root and it grows into the ground and it's got the flower that's on top. That thing is so far. So we're gonna have to we're gonna have to do that. Maybe if we have to do a small portion so everybody can see it, it's gonna be a lot of beets, but that's okay. Just cook them. If you cook them long to where they get soft like they was before, they was firm because maybe you cooked them in the last hour. But if you cook them to where they soften up, I think everybody will eat them. You probably be like, know that normal beets is nasty or whatever, but these ain't. But you'll have a change of heart when you have these. They sauteed. They was always nasty to me, but the first time I had them, I bragged about them. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It's out of this world. So that's that. So I need some. Listen, Obadiah and DeWine, would y'all please stop? Okay, Obadiah, you're supposed to know better. Get fancy. what's your next other favorite? What's your next thing that you like? I ain't gonna say favorite because, you know, steak.
Fish.
Steak and fish. Okay, that's good. How you gonna get fish out there? You can't have a goldfish. So, you know, you gotta think about that. Everybody people here like fish? Yeah, me too. What type of fish?
Sea bass.
Red
See,
snap.
White.
I like that.
so those things, listen up. Those things that you're gonna miss, we have to create a plan for that. So that you're not bugging and tripping out. You're like, man. Yeah, so do y'all understand why I'm doing what I'm doing? Why we're having the talk, right? You know, because it's not there. You have to put it there. You said steak. Okay. Let's entertain. You said a steak. The steak is on the cow. You buy the cow and kill the cow and cut them up for the steak. Y'all ever seen Dead Presidents? Who's seen Dead Presidents in here? All right. Remember the guy that blew the truck up? He was fascinated, right? But he blew the whole damn truck up, right? So Boom will be fascinated to get the steak, but what did he do? He killed the cow. You know, he killed the cow. That's the only cow. Or if you got two of them, dude, you killed one of them. They can't even what? They can't even mate now, right? Yeah. But he got the steak. He fascinated because he's trimmed him up. So the moral of that story is that we definitely will have to have time. They can mate, learn about this, and just leave them out there. 2 turn into 3, 3 turn into 4, 4 turn into 5, 5 turn into 6, then you buy 2 more. If not, Cam can eat a whole one up. Last year we was consuming 2 lambs and they were small. Right now we can consume probably 4 small ones or 3 big ones or 2 big ones just in one feast. The only reason why we don't, because I won't set it out like that. But I know what we can eat. And we can very well. Passover, we ate 2 of them. So now think about that. And steady growing. So are we seeing the necessity? What about turkey? It's all right. Turkey sausage is just all right, or it's not fire? It's fire. And you'd have to get some turkeys. Right. How would you do the turkey? Hunting? Bun is killing the food source, man. You don't want to hunt the turkey. You want them to live. You want them to breed. You just get them out there. Trap it. You don't stress and kill them. Oh, listen. So you'd have to set up habitation. You have to learn how to set up habitation so they probably can attract other turkeys and bring them back, you know, and that they can breed and give them a home right there on your land and keep other people from coming to get them. So before you can eat your food source, you'd have to grow your food source. Just like we talked about vegetables, you didn't talk about shooting the veggies. What do you do to the squash?
I blow it up.
No, man. You know what I mean? So these are all necessities. You know what? This conversation is to show you that it's not there. You'd have to put it there, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. I think very deeply about all of that. The turkey, what would it to make? You know, you'd have to make the turkey sausage and stuff like that. The machinery for the turkey sausage, the bacon and dehydrate, you know, processors and all that kind of stuff. So when I'm thinking about the stuff that we're saying, I'm really thinking about this. I'm like, man, you know, it's quite a bit. Okay, you had something? Jabril?
Yeah, what about lawful fried insects?
Okay, so, you know, anybody want to taste crickets? I got some crickets. Real talk. All right, y'all have some. Not with me, but that's fine. The lawful things like that, but I don't want to breed bugs. You know, we get bit by enough of them. You know, I'll just take one big bite of meat than 75 bugs. You know what I'm saying? I just bite the meat.
How about grass that's limited?
Who?
Grass.
You're gonna eat grass? No, I don't know about. Somebody take the mic from him. No, I don't think we can eat grass. You know. You ever heard of that? Grass? Somebody eating grass?
Yeah, it's actually edible. I mean, I've actually heard someone actually make a cake out of it called an organic grass cake.
Okay. Well, you know what? So grass do have seeds, you know what I'm saying? Grass seeds. And the seeds, and so when grass grows seeds, it's the long spouts, and then at the top, it's all the little bitty seeds. You know, a lot of times we're walking past somebody that didn't cut their yard, and we just pull the top of it off and throw it back in there. Those are the seeds. So in a sense, I guess that would be edible, you know, if you mow your lawn and take it in instead of putting it in the garbage, put it in your house. I'm not doing that. But hey, you know, I'm not doing that. You know, but the cattle eat the grass, and you eat the cattle, so.
Easy way to
Hey, but you know what? Listen, I've always had in the back of my mind that it's something about that grass, to be honest. I mean, I'm with you when you're right. I can't never knock what's right, brother. That ain't me. I ain't the one. You hear me? Okay. I've always had in the back of my mind that it's something with the grass because the cattle, huge, strong, and they don't eat what we eat. We eat them. Trying to get strong like them, but look what they eat. So you on to something? You let me know, because we got to. Sham eat the grass. You know, I'm sorry, Lord. You know, I got to. I eat it. You know. So, but what you think the greens is? Yeah, the greens come up out the ground. Yeah, the lettuces, the cabbages, the turnip greens, and the all of the greens. That's anybody else in here eat grass if you had to?
Yes, sir.
What sisters? Any sisters in here? I know Diane said she'll eat it. Okay, y'all. Too. Carlos, you not eating no grass? Okay, you gonna go on a diet? What other sister gonna go on a diet? You going on a diet too? Okay. So them downstairs raising their hand about not eating it, or they will eat it. So you eat the grass if you had to?
You can't get pulled off grass.
What grass is made into juice and you can eat it also? Wheatgrass is made into juice. She ain't going without it. Give me some, Shane. I'm gonna try. I'm glad, yeah, get there. The Whiz Kid. I'm glad you said something. I'm gonna eat some grass, y'all. You just gotta make sure ain't nothing pee on it. Look at them. They like I'm really not gonna eat it now. But you better listen. You better think about it to survive. Even though we don't eat dogs, the Moabites do. When the dogs get sick, they'll eat grass. You'll see them out. You see your dog eating grass. The Most High told him, "Get that, old boy. Fella, eat that." The Most High telling the dog to eat the grass, and he's eating it too. And I guess it settles his stomach or something. And nobody, because no being teaches the dog to eat the grass. The dog just naturally, when you will see him naturally just eating the grass. That's the only time when a dog eats grass, when he is sick. Man, I'm looking into that. Somebody look into that and report back to me about that.
Yeah, I think it is.
You looked it up?
A long time ago. They have cleaned your gut out.
You had some?
But giraffes will eat it too.
Okay. So giraffes are lawful to eat. Would y'all eat a giraffe? We might get a giraffe out there. Ride it for a couple of years and then smoke them after we finish. Ride them like a 4-wheeler. Throw them on the grill. They be like, that camp, wow. They had a giraffe. What happened to that giraffe y'all had? You eating it. You just eating it. All right, so listen, I think we're finished.
I'll talk about giraffe.
You had some?
No, I'm with so if I hit the lottery, we can put it on the grill.
Oh, okay.
You gonna get it?
Well, let's get some other stuff before we get the giraffe. Brother, show up on Claxton with a giraffe. It's looking over the fence out there. Get them more ammunition to call the city. They already be calling the city. In my parking space. And they got a giraffe. Come see it. They get down. Pull on the giraffe. Get down. The inspector out there like Stanley. Come on, Friday. All right. So that's it concerning that little president imminent danger, y'all. I mean, with all jokes aside, we definitely don't want to wait last minute because they do not announce what they're trying to do towards us, and against us. So we'll be able to talk about it a little, a little more in the future coming up. So any questions? All right, so Matthew 26.
Book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 6. Now when Christ was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. And Christ understood it, and said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for memorial of her. So I want to give all praise to the Most High for sending this woman Mary with a humble and contrite spirit to come for Christ before his burial. And Christ said, whatsoever this gospel is to be preached, this too that this woman had done be told for her memorial. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 23. For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord the Christ, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it, and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup, when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily, shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world.
Samantha,
Have left.
so did you guys see the zucchini? It's the size of a bear. And when Kasai put it, she just like lined it up and put it next to him. He immediately grabbed it and like started trying to bite on it. That thing is huge, man.
First that one stopped. They stopped from on the other. They left it and they would have gone to school.
Probably.
So she decided to pick it because of the size.
Yeah, and I was picking some other stuff that was ready, some different squashes that turn yellow, and so yeah, it was time. So you know, it probably would have kept growing. Hmm? Yeah. Put a tape measure on it. That's it. That's it. That's it. All right. All right, Israel. So that's it. All right. So So, Most High, in the name of Christ, Yahweh Shai, thank you for the food and drink. Amen.
Amen.
All right, this is Bible spoken for you. All right, this is blood. So, listen up. Concerning the new moon, did everybody know and understand that we wasn't going to feast tonight? Right, so that we do not stress the cooks. And but we'll have it tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be able to eat and then fellowship all day. So, where's James at? So I was considering back at that park out by your house and what's that? Florissant, right? Okay. So I guess I was kind of, undetermined whether, here or you city, but out there, did they have some type of diamond or something? I know we had the big field.
I'm not sure. Yeah, they got It was a team out there practicing. That's right.
Okay. So we'll talk about it. I want to close this chapter of being online. But so we'll start tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about it. I want to get offline. All right, so we'll stand, face Jerusalem, send up prayers. Okay, Israel.
If every man was just like me, what kind of sanctuary would this be?
The Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6 and 9. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debt to us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
The laborer's prayer, Luke 10 and 2. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Bless you, Most High, King of heaven and earth, and all things, Most High. In the name of the Christ, send more disciples and teachers to your harvest, to gather the people of Israel, and send counsel behind your laws to stand before thy people Israel. Give to us strength to break down our lives with thy word. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
The blessing of Israel, Numbers chapter 6 and 24. Children of Israel, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right, children of Israel, bless one another.
Most High and Christ bless you all.
Okay. All right, Israelites. All right, name of our Shai. Bless each and every last one of them, right? Good night, brother. Good night. Judah, are you in town, brother? Not in town. Not in town. Okay. Thought you was here.
Oh, man. See, I did say that, and then I didn't have a clue. See, what happened was,
All right. Shalom.
I had another one.